What up, Stamp Gang? This is Sade of Sade No Days Off. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sunday. Happy Self Sunday. And it is Couch Conversation Sunday. And I have my friend Dori right here. And we are going to be chatting about just continuing the spring cleaning chat. Like, I've been doing on the channel just like these different aspects of cleaning out your life, your mind, your soul. Last week I did cleaning out your cell phone and getting rid of digital clutter. Yes. And just how these things like really help you to have a better quality of life. How have you been? We've both been working through sort of saying no to others.
Yes. Yes, my goodness.
What is it like for you to have to choose your own self-care over other people, especially when it comes to, like, you have relationships with family and friends, but to say, I'm not gonna be able because I need that space for me?
It comes with a lot of tears. It comes with a lot of turmoil, a lot of prayers, and a lot of understanding of myself and where I'm at this point in my life. And just knowing the path that putting others above self-care leads to.
Yes.
So you know this, but I'll share with whoever's viewing. I've had a lot of issues with my personal health, and so I was stressing so much to the point where I ended up having an ulcer, and I got to the point where I'm now like on medication. I have to take medication every single day just to kind of keep my digestive issues at bay.
Right. And
they're all stress related. And so for me to take a situation that's like something I'm constantly trying to keep in check and add on other people's stresses and problems on top of that is just not something that I can consciously make the decision to continue to do. Right. So I think it really came from me reaching a breaking point, like a literal breaking point where my body was like literally broken. Like, there's something in me that isn't working the way that it's supposed to because of the weight and the burden of the stress that I was taking on from other people that I engage with in intimate relationships. Right. And so I think that reaching that like low point for me and reaching the point to where now if I don't prize my own self-care above other people, like I'm literally playing with my quality of life. Yeah. And knowing, having that experience and what that was like, and not having any energy to literally do anything, and literally having only me to care for myself, and not being able to do that because I was so busy stressing and worrying about other people's problems, really put me in a space where like it's still difficult, but it's not as difficult as it was before. And so it's sad that it took me getting to that space for me to finally be able to establish boundaries. But I'm also glad that it happened when it happened, because I was going through so much on my own in my own personal life that I really need to take a moment and prize my own self-care above everybody else who was around me. Yeah,
we've gone through that together, literally, because Dori and I met in the PhD program. And we would sit and write papers together, both of us, you know, burping from indigestion and acid reflux, and just both miserable and commiserating with each other, like there has to be a better way of doing this. And the unfortunate thing is, and especially for like my younger viewers, do not let people stress you out, because your body will break down. It will break down, and you don't want to get to the point where you're forced to take care of yourself because your body literally will not do what it's supposed to do. Right. And like even yesterday, I noticed like at the end of the day, like I was having that indigestion feeling. I haven't had that feeling in months. And I was like, no. Nope. No.
Right, that's a signal. That's a warning. Like, you gotta sit down and you gotta take a moment and take care of you. So,
and your body will let you know, like that being lethargic and not feeling like doing anything, or just that feeling of emptiness. Right. And it took till getting to, you know, this age to realize that there's a real feeling of just like empty and depletedness you have when you just continually give, pour out of yourself into others, and people aren't doing the same for you in the same volume.
Right.
So
yeah, it's amazing because my mindset was like a complete 180 from what it is now. I felt like I lived such a privileged life in certain ways that I felt an obligation to give back a lot of myself to other people, but I didn't realize that I was giving all of myself to other people, and there was nothing left for me in order to make sure that I was well and that I was able to continue to give at the capacity that I was. And then you create situations where people expect you to continue being available.
Right. I was just going to say that. Like, people exploit that, and they become comfortable in the sort of lifestyle that you provide them just by being present and giving them your emotional availability and things like that. We're not even talking about giving literal, like, money, clothes, things like that. We're talking about giving just your energy and your good intentions and your prayers and things like that. That stuff is exhausting.
Oh, it is exhausting. In fact, it indeed is exhausting. And I don't know, it just creates a sense of almost bitterness and resentment after a while, because I think, like, I was content and I was fine with knowing that my energies wouldn't always be reciprocated in the ways that I was doling them out. I didn't expect for them to be given back to me in the exact same way.
And that is abusive. Like, that is violence.
Yeah, it
is being done towards you. And, you know, when you hear the word violence, you just get such a bad connotation by it. But it literally is that because it does you harm in the short term and in the longer term. Because, I mean, and I talked about at the beginning of the month, you know, forgiveness, holding on to unforgiveness. It's the same thing with resentment. Like, you harbor those things, and those feelings hinder your ability to achieve your best and highest good. Right. Because you're devoting extra energy and extra space in your mind. To things that are not benefiting you. They're hurting you. They're like killing you from the inside, literally. And like, I don't know where I heard it, but, you know, somebody was just said you don't give people space in your mind that they don't pay for. Like, you let people take up space rent free in your head. And I was just like,
and they're not helping you to get to where you need to be ultimately. Like,
and they're not devoting nearly the same amount of time to thinking about you.
They're not.
That's the gag.
Right. That really and truly is the gag of the whole thing. And I feel like it took like a lot for me to truly understand the ramifications of that. And to understand, like what you just said, that it was emotional violence that I was allowed to be continuously done against my person. And I had recourse to put boundaries in place and stop it from happening. And like, all I needed to do was put my foot down and say no. And I mean, people went kicking and screaming, but they had to make room.
Eventually they'll get in line. I was saying that at my last retreat. I was talking to one of the ladies that was there, and she was talking about her daughters and how, you know, she gives so much to her daughters, but one day she wants to be married again and things like that, and they're not gonna like it and stuff like that. I was like, they not paying rent.
That part. That part.
First of all, they're not paying rent, and they will adjust. If you start putting yourself first more often, you're going to be able to be in better relationship with each of them, but also they will adjust. And that's the big thing, is that when you make space for yourself, people will adjust.
They will.
Some people might leave, chuck them the deuces and wish them the best.
And that's really what you need to do. That's what you have to do, because if you're not bending over backwards, if you're not doing harm to yourself in order to do for another person, is not enough for them to stay around.
You don't need them in
or
your
something
life
that
anyway.
Discourages them and makes them want to go the opposite direction of you. You definitely don't need that person in your life. And I had to learn that the hard way, because once I started putting those boundaries in place, like, people started acting different. Like, the responses that I got were like so crazy.
People will tell you you're being selfish. And I don't know what's going on and what you're doing. But those are not the people you want in place in your life, because you want people that support you and want your best and want to see you do your best. And I think the most powerful thing that we both are kind of learning, that it's okay to say no. And that's
the power of no.
That is the easiest way to put a boundary in place, is to tell somebody no.
Yes, it is.
And you don't have to, and more importantly, you don't have to explain why you're saying no. The fact that you said no, that is it. No is a complete sentence. Like, I have been slipping back into those behaviors where I am giving all I have to other people. I'm not considering myself. And then I'm looking up and I'm depleted. I'm not getting done what I need to get done. And it feels worse.
Yes.
Like, once you, that's the other thing. Once you start putting those boundaries in place and you start taking care of yourself and making space for yourself and maintaining that, to not do it feels even worse than it used to. And then you will be like, this didn't used to feel this bad.
Because you're more conscious of it. You're more aware, and you know the consequences for not doing what you need to do for you. And it's hard to rationalize that away. I think it gets harder the longer the boundaries are in place. And I think it helps, actually, for the boundaries to remain fixed in place, because you know that there's going to be a consequence if you don't say, like, no, this is the boundary. You cannot cross this boundary. You cannot come into this space and bring your problems with you. That's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Precisely where I'm at now, because it's a constant negotiation. It's a constant, like, reassuring myself that it's okay to say no to certain requests that I would have in the past said yes to.
Yes. And it's nice too, because we always have each other to check in with, to be like, I was thinking about this. I'm just making sure that I'm not tripping. And somebody will be like, no, girl, don't do it.
No.
Don't do it.
No good will come from that. Yes.
You need me to say no for you?
Right.
If you can't say no for yourself, I'll say no for you. So you need to have at least one person that will keep you accountable to your own self-care.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that I can say I'm, like, really grateful to my partner for, because I feel like at the end of the day, he definitely makes sure that I'm on top of my self-care.
Yeah.
Because, like, he can always tell when I'm starting to get stressed out, and he can always tell when something is wrong. So he'll ask me, like, what's wrong?
Right.
And if I keep him apprised of the situation, and he's just like, now, you know, if you indulge in this situation, it's going to stress you out. And you know that you already are taking this medicine. And you know, and it's just like having those people who know you and who can kind of check you a little bit and just be like, hold up. Wait a minute.
Give you that good dose of reality.
Right. Don't go off the rails here, because like, they're ultimately the people who are around you, who are the ones who are pouring into you, are going to have to be the ones to hold you up when you do indulge in that. Right. And I think something kind of hit me the other day. It was just like, it's not only about you, it's about the people who are fighting for you.
Yeah.
And who have fought for you.
Absolutely.
And it's like, if I can look at a request from somebody who I know hasn't fought for me or isn't going to fight for me if I need them to, and I think about the consequences and the ramifications that'll have on the people around me who are pouring into me and who are fighting for my sanity and my safety and my self-care every single day. Like, it makes it easy to make that choice to say no.
That is very true. Like, I started doing that a couple of years ago, like, because I'm the person that will check in on everybody. And then I stopped. I was like, I'm not checking in on people that don't regularly make sure that I'm not about to jump off my balcony. Right. And that is not problematic
at all,
because somebody is checking in on that person, but they're not checking in on you. And that's also about how you maintain your relationships. Like, I pour my energy into the relationships that I am not the only one maintaining.
Right.
So, like, I have it distilled down. There are people that I'm cool with. You know, I'll say, hey, I might, if I just happen to think about it, slide them a text and be like, you're cool, or I'm liking their stuff on social media. Hey, girl, I see you. But the ones that I'm actively like, you all right?
Right.
That's a smaller number of people, and those people are the ones that are that every now and then they're like, just so you know, I see you over there. Do I need to come get you?
Right. Do I need to come and get you?
Right. Do we need to? What do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that I am like, that I'll go hard for.
Right.
So, and I think that's the important part. We're not totally telling you to like say no to everybody, but to be more choosy.
Yeah.
About who gets your time.
Right.
And that's how you create space for yourself. It's like you are a garden. Who is pouring into you?
Yes.
And
who's watering your flowers?
Right, who's watering your
and
flowers?
Pruning you, because you need pruning too.
Yes, you need pruning. Who's giving you the sunshine that helps you to grow?
Yes.
And those people are the ones that you hold that kind of space for. They're the ones that get your best.
Right.
Everybody else, you get what I got if I got it. And if I don't got it, I don't got it.
You know what? Somebody told me something a few years ago, and I feel like it kind of registered with me then, but not as much as it does now. But he said you can't be loyal to everybody. You can only be loyal to people who are loyal to you. And I feel like the same goes for like what you just said. You can only give your space and your energy and your time and your resources to people who you know, like if you were down and out, like they would do the same to you. And that's not to say that like sometimes, you know, if you are in a position to where you're able to do it, you don't go out of your way for people, because I feel like we're here for each other.
Yeah. It's
part of my issue. I really believe that we as people were made for each other. We were made to help each other to be better. And so that gets me in trouble sometimes.
But you have to be discerning about it. That's the hard part, is like to build that discernment. Like you can feel if this is something I need to do. Like I can count on more than one set of fingers that the times where like I've gone out to eat and had, you know, leftovers, and as soon as I leave, I'll see somebody on the side of the road, and I just hand over the food. And you know, that doesn't hurt me at all. Right. Like I have not put myself out by doing something for somebody else who is in need. Yes. But that person that is constantly occupying your time, wanting you to give them like emotional support and things like that, but if they wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. Like that's not the person people, that I need to be trying to help.
That's it. And that's the exact distinction that I want to make, because I feel like we should all be indulging in humanistic enterprises and endeavors. But I feel like it's like just the example that you just gave. Like, is it going to be something that's going to bend me out of shape, that's going to put me out, or is it something that I can do to help somebody else that's not really costing me anything? And like, I'm going to feel good about it at the end of the day. Like, I'm going to feel okay about it. I'm not going to feel like I overextended myself. So I think it's a fine line to have to toe. I think that it's very difficult, and I think that depending on who you are, your capacity for indulging people in your time and your resources and your energies is going to be different. But I think that you do have to get to the place where you make the distinction between who is worth you investing all of your resources and who's not. Yes. And what are those different opportunities where you can kind of pour into other people without replenishing all of your stores. So
for sure. Well, thank you so much, Dori, for coming in and sitting on my couch.
Now your couch is comfortable.
Girl, yeah, this is the good couch. But y'all, we'll be back next month with another couch conversation with another sister friend. I'm probably going to bring Dori back at some point, probably with the other friends, and we'll just do a big sister circle on camera. That'll be awesome. Fun. Yeah. But as always, friends, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend about the channel. See you in the next one. Bye.